Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishers. I am Jim Moyna. We have not made a video for a little while now for a couple of reasons. I just needed a break because that's going to be the topic of this video is basically the slump that I've been dealing with this year and just the mindset, the negativity that I've been dealing with in my head. That's kind of what this is about. So my last tournament was a few weeks ago on Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma, and it was just another brutal finish, really bad finish in a string of bad finishes. Now I'm in the midst of posting one of my worst years ever, but I'm only halfway through the year and I can turn this around. So here I am, just rolled in tonight after dark, got the camper set up in the dark. It's about 11 p.m. right now. We are going to start practicing tomorrow for a tournament on a lake called Lake Okoboji in northern Iowa. And I guess it'd be more west Iowa, or kind of northwest Iowa. It's near Spirit Lake, Iowa. I've never been to this lake before. It's a natural lake. I don't know much about it. It's got smallmouth and largemouth. I've heard that it's can have some big largemouths. I heard that can have a lot of 2-pound smallmouths. I've heard it's multiple basins connected together. So some of the basins have clean water. Some of the basins definitely have some watercolor to it with lower visibility. So that's about all I know. But being a natural lake, it shouldn't be too hard for me to find a groove out here and start catching fish. Because if there's one thing I know, that's northern natural lakes. So back to the slump. It's been a bad year for losing key fish. It's been a bad year, it's just been a repeating occurrence from tournament to tournament. My biggest, keyest fish are coming undone. So that's just has bred a negative attitude in me. Just like I can't do anything right. Nothing's gonna, and then when that negativity starts building, just every little tiny misfire throughout the day is exaggerated in my head. I blow it up in my head bigger than what it is. For example, if I make a bad cast, it's immediately I'm thinking, geez, I can't even cast it anymore. I'm a terrible caster. These are just little things like that. I just dwell on them. Or let's say a little fish bites off the back end of my plastic bait. Well, I just start thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm going to waste 45 seconds having to dig out a new plastic, and it's just a negative. I'm just turning every little thing into a negative concept in my head, and that doesn't do any good. So I've had this long break now where I've just stepped back from things. I feel rested, but I'm sure by the end of the week, I probably won't be quite feel so rested because it does wear on me. But my mind feels refreshed, and there's not much I'm going to do different going into this tournament, except for one thing. Well, first of all, I'm not going to really change I'm not going to change. I fish with sharp hooks. I feel like I understand how to match rod, line, and hooks and techniques to maximize the hooking percentage. There's a couple areas where I know I can improve upon, and I'm taking measures to do that. I'm experimenting with some things. So I'm actively trying to work with some of the, maybe a flaw that I do have in one technique. However, but for the most part, I'm going to approach approach the tournament like I always do. This is with the Champions Tour here on Lake Okoboji. I've got a good understanding. I don't need to radically change everything to get myself back on track, except for one thing. The one thing I do have to change, and this is it, I just need to make a mental, conscious change in my brain to not focus on the negative. I have to I have to find the I just have to brush the little adversities that come up, the bigger adversities that come up. I just gotta just accept what just happened and recognize and identify a solution to it and forget about it, not dwell on it, and move on, and maybe try to positive out of it. Like perhaps, if a little fish tears off the back end of a plastic bait, well, the positive is, hey, there's some bait, there's at least bait fish here, or there's a little bass here, maybe I'm just one step closer to, on the next cast, catching a fish. So that's the thing, is making that mental change in my head, just being aware, and awareness of this problem is also important. So I'm just being aware of it, very conscious of it. It's at the forefront of my head, trying to just being aware of the negativity that I've been letting overtake my actions, overtake my thoughts. I can't allow that. That's not good. It's not going to breed a winning streak. This is, like I said, if my trend continues through the second half of this year, this will be, without a doubt, my worst tournament season ever. So it's time to, at the half point time here, to turn this around. There ain't no better place than a natural lake here in my part of the country to do it. Even if I don't do it here, let's recognize the steps that I've taken. Let's recognize the situation, and let's do it at the next one. The next tournament after this will be down on Lake Eufaula in Oklahoma, where I just was a few weeks ago. So we just got to have a good attitude about this. And the other thing here, there's one other thing I can do, and that's just be more conscious of my own well-being and my physical health, which means make sure I get the most sleep that I can. I'm usually somewhat sleep deprived on these tournaments, but let's try to minimize that by making sure we get to bed at a reasonable time. I know right now it's like after 11 o'clock, so I am going to sleep in somewhat tomorrow. I still have to do some grocery shopping, so I'm not going to get on the lake right away. I'm going to, I guess I'll have to check and see what time the grocery store is open. But, yeah, so I may not get on the lake until like 10:30, 11 tomorrow, which is fine, because I got half a day tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, half a day Monday. So there's only about 5,000 acres of water out here, so it's not going to be that difficult to see a big chunk of this water out here in the time that I've set aside for this. So anyways, yeah, so the sleep, then I got to eat right. I'm not starting tomorrow, because I didn't really eat right today. Okay, but starting tomorrow, when I go grocery shopping, I'll buy the right things, and I'll be eating the right things through the week. So that's also plays into it. It plays into the you have to. The tournament bass tournament bass fishing is it's an endeavor of kind of an endurance, and it goes day after day after day after day. And recovery after the day, before you start the next day, I guess that's what I'm talking about with my physical health. I need to be more conscious of the recovery, and so that I'm I'm ready to go the next day. Because this is what can happen. If you get to where you're worn down and you're on the third, fourth day of practice, fifth day, down a few weeks ago out of fall, I put aside like 7 days. So when I got deep into the practice, and I was wore out, you just don't start thinking about what you need to do to get yourself on the best patterns possible. You tend to just start casting and reeling, or if you're jigging, flipping and pitching and flipping and pitching, and your mind goes kind of dead. Deep into the practice, if you've neglected the recovery process after each day, and leading to the next morning, I know I'm just not thinking creatively like I should be, and I'm not thinking. I'm going through the motions more than what I need to be. And you never should be just going through the motions, but that wear of a long practice like that can just do it to you. So the recovery process, hydration, that's another thing. I got to make sure I'm hydrated, because that's another thing that if you let that go, that can wear on you, that can take you down. I've got to be conscious of my hydration as well, because I kind of neglected it at the last tournament, and I just got to make that switch. Got to make that switch. So there we go. Just the mental awareness of the negativity. Don't just rise above it. I've done it before in the past. I can count to many situations in the past where I just shook it off and kept going. But I sometimes I do have a tendency to dwell on it. Let's just get off of that and move forward. Positive thinking, right? And then the recovery with the nutrition, the sleep, and the hydration. Those are the things. I got to keep your mind is your most valuable tool in this sport. So I got to keep my mind tuned in so it doesn't tune out. All right. So that's gonna be my solution to trying to overcome and turn this around. And not only that, even though I've never been to Lake Okoboji, it is a northern natural lake, and it has it's not. I mean, I'm going to be comfortable out here, even if I get into some ruts through practice where I'm not figuring out the fish so much. I know what my options generally are up in this part of the world, so that's going to help. That's going to help me beat the slump as well. Just being on a type of fishery that I'm comfortable with, even though I've never been here. Anyhow, I think those elements. Just focus on those, and I think if I do that, I can post a reasonable finish here. So yeah, if I post a bad finish here, it's not going to be because I neglected what I just talked about. There's going to be some other element that I am not foreseeing at the moment. Maybe I just don't figure it out. That does happen, but that's not going to be as likely on this lake out here. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm going to be posting be posting all week. So hopefully you guys find that this is entertaining, informative, and so on. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon, like probably tomorrow. Over.